The harder you try to stop thinking about someone, the more your brain forces you to think about them. That's not weakness. That's a psychological trap your brain sets for itself. And today, you're going to finally understand why. Why it matters. Maybe it was an ex-partner, an old friend, or someone you barely knew but can't seem to forget. You tell yourself to move on. You stay busy. You delete the photos. You stop checking their social media. But somehow they keep appearing in your mind. Sometimes it's a random song. Sometimes it's a familiar place. Sometimes it's a smell, a movie, or even a single word. And suddenly, they're back in your thoughts as if they never left. Psychology has a fascinating answer, and it has nothing to do with weakness. Your brain hates unfinished stories. Imagine you're reading an exciting novel. Just before the final chapter, someone takes the book away. You never find out how it ends. Days later, you're still thinking about it. Not because the story was perfect, but because your brain wants closure. When someone suddenly leaves your life with clear answers, your brain treats it like an unfinished story. It keeps replaying conversations. It keeps asking questions. What did I do wrong? Could I have changed the outcome? What if I had said something different? Psychologists call this the need for cognitive closure. Our minds naturally seek complete answers.
When we don't have them, the brain keeps working in the background, like a computer trying to finish an unfinished task. That's why people who never received a proper goodbye often struggle the most. Emotions are glue for memory. Your emotions act like glue for your memories. You probably don't remember an ordinary Tuesday from 10 years ago, but you probably remember your graduation, your first kiss, your biggest failure, one of the happiest days of your life. When an experience is filled with strong emotion, your brain stores it more deeply. Love, heartbreak, excitement, fear, joy. These emotions tell your brain that this memory is important. So when you keep thinking about someone, it doesn't always mean they're the right person for you. Sometimes it simply means they became connected to one of the strongest emotional experiences of your life, and your brain is doing exactly what it was designed to do: protect the memories that matter. The rebound effect. Why suppression fails. What if the very act of trying to forget someone is the reason you can't? For the next 10 seconds, don't think about a white bear. The more we try to suppress a thought, the stronger it becomes. Psychologists call this the rebound effect.
A thought suppressed by a hand pressing it down, springs loading beneath it. The moment the hand lifts, the thought launching upward with 3 times the force, labeled rebound effect. Your brain constantly checks whether you're thinking about the thing you're trying to avoid, and that checking process brings the thought right back. It's like trying to push a beach ball underwater. You can hold it down, but the moment you let go, it pops back to the surface. The harder you fight them, the more energy you give them. That's why constantly telling yourself don't think about them rarely works. Your brain hears the person's name every single time. Sometimes the healthiest response isn't forcing a thought to disappear. It's allowing it to come and go without giving it extra attention. Like clouds passing across the sky. You notice them, but you don't chase them. Eventually, they move on by themselves. Loneliness triggers memory. Have you ever noticed that memories become stronger during lonely moments? When people feel lonely, the brain naturally searches for memories connected to comfort, safety, and belonging. Sometimes you're not missing them. You're missing how you felt when they were part of your life. Maybe they made you feel understood. Maybe they made them laugh. Maybe life simply felt easier back then.
Our brains are naturally drawn toward what's familiar, even when what's familiar wasn't actually healthy. Am I truly missing this person? Or am I missing the feeling I had when they were around? You're grieving a version of yourself. Sometimes you're not holding on to a person. You're holding on to a version of yourself. Maybe you felt more confident. Maybe you laughed more often. Maybe you believed the future was full of possibilities. When that person left, those feelings seemed to disappear too. So every time you think about them, your brain isn't just remembering the relationship, it's remembering the person you used to be. That's why moving on can feel so difficult. You're grieving more than someone's absence. You're grieving a chapter of your own life. But here's the good news. You don't need that person to become that version of yourself again. The confidence you had was always yours. The happiness you felt came from within you. They may have helped bring it out, but they didn't create it. Instead of asking, how do I stop thinking about them? Try asking, what is my mind trying to teach me? Maybe it's asking you to find closure. Maybe it's reminding you to heal. Maybe it's encouraging you to build a life so meaningful that your future becomes more exciting than your past. Memories are not your enemy. They are part of being human.
Every time the memory returns, notice it without judging yourself. Take a deep breath. Remind yourself that thoughts are not commands. They are simply mental events, like clouds passing across the sky. They arrive, they change, and eventually they fade. Healing rarely happens overnight. It happens one day, one choice, and one thought at a time. One morning, you'll realize that hours have passed without thinking about them. Then days, then weeks. Not because you forced yourself to forget, but because your mind finally found peace. And that's the difference between forgetting someone and truly moving on. If this video helped you understand your mind a little better, let me know in the comments. Have you ever struggled to stop thinking about someone? I'd love to hear your experience, and you might be surprised how many people feel the exact same way. If you enjoyed this, watch this next, because the psychology behind why we get attached to people goes even deeper than you think. Subscribe to Mind Frontier. Every week, we explore the hidden psychology behind relationships, habits, emotions, and the incredible ways your mind shapes your life. Until next time, stay curious, keep learning, and never stop exploring your mind.